you guys. So today I am going to do the first of what I hope is many tutorials. I obviously don't have any makeup on right now. I've prepped my skin with a new face oil that I'm trying because my face has been super dry, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the eyes and everything, and then we'll do the face. I'm a little stuffed up, but no big deal. This is actually a look that I posted on Twitter the other day, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should. My username is BATB, like Beauty and the Blonde 91. I guess I'll just get started. I'm going to be using the Oscar de la Renta Kaléidoscope from Metier, which was limited edition for Fashion Night Out in September, so unfortunately you cannot get a hold of it anymore. However, the colors are kind of very classic colors that you can find in a wide variety of brands. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in because we're going to start with eyes, and then we will get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is start with a primer. I'm just going to use Urban Decay Shadow Potion. And then we're going to rub this in. Make sure you get underneath the eyes too. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use an INGLOT shadow to kind of be an all-over base color for me. This is my 40 pan. I'm going to do a video on this after I finish this video, but the color that I'm going to use is this color right here. It's just kind of a neutrally color. I will put the number down below. I didn't grab it with me. And then I'm just going to take, this is a NARS brush, but it's just a big lay down brush. And this is a matte color. If you see me looking over here, it's because that's where my mirror is. Hopefully you can't hear the really high-pitched beeping noise. There is, my neighbors behind us have had something on all week and it's driving us crazy, but we don't know what it is. So this is just going to even out any discoloration and kind of give us a clean slate to work from. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my kaleidoscope. I'm going to go ahead and show you the colors just so that you know what all I'm talking about. The first color is the color that we're going to be using for our lips. Then there is an all-over highlighter color. My pan's really messy because mine broke on the way to me. But it's a very, very pigmented, gorgeous, shimmery, kind of glowy highlighter. Then there is a gorgeous navy, dark navy color. And finally, a peachy kind of nude base color. We're first going to start with this base color that I just showed you. Where did I put it? Okay. And my NARS brush again. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this and put it just on the lid. Okay, now we are going to take, I'm going to use an INGLOT shadow again for this, but you can use any, and it's this color right here, which is not showing up as cool toned as it actually is in real life. It's a cool toned matte brown that we're going to use to contour the eye. My favorite brush to do this with is the Sigma Blending E25. So we're just going to take a little bit of that and run it just through our crease. And what this is going to do is give your eyes a totally, it's going to deep set your eyes a little bit so you have more depth. This look would be perfect if you're like a more kind of bold Valentine's Day look, because it is going to be an exaggerated cat eye with a red lip. So I probably should have said that from the beginning. Okay, now I'm going to take, sorry, I have all of my brushes sitting over here and it's hard to like find the ones I want to use. I'm going to take a shader brush just like this one, and the not sparkly, but the highlighter color from my palette. Yeah, and I'm going to place this primarily into the center of the lid. This again is just going to give us a really great depth and kind of make our eyes pop. So just like that. And you can tell now that our eyes look really deep set. I'm also, while I'm here, before we start lining, I'm going to take a matte white shadow like MAC Gesso or the INGLOT one, and I'm going to use that as our highlight. Just right at, you want to start your highlight at the highest point in your brow and then blend out. So I'm going to start and put most of the color right here and then just bring it out like this. I haven't done my brows yet, but I'm not going to do much to them because I don't want them to be super crazy. I'm going to take my NARS brush again and just kind of blend this out. Okay. This is really distracting for me because my face is not in, my skin is not in good shape right now. I had a horrible breakout from the Eve Pearl Cleanse and Polish, but it'll be great for you guys to see once I start doing my foundation what I do when my skin is not so great. So now we pretty much have the majority of the eyes finished. We're going to go back in after we line our eyes with the navy from this palette to define our crease and then underneath our eyes a little bit. But first we're going to line, and I'm going to have to do this in the mirror because I can't see enough in my viewfinder. What I'm going to do, this is my LORAC Front of the Line Pro Liner. It's my favorite liner. I'm actually just going to bring my mirror right here so that I can, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to start at the inner corner and just kind of lay down the color. Okay, now for my wing, I'm going to start, my eyes are two different shapes. I know it doesn't look like it, but once you get really into it, this side of my eye kind of goes just straight up, and then this one there's a little gap here before it goes up. So what I'm going to do is start where my upper lash line meets my lower lash line and draw out. Just like that. Now I'm going to take from the end and pull it in. So there we have our basic line, and now I'm just going to go back in and fill this in. And then I'm going to even out this line with the rest of the line. Just like so. So there's our line on this side. And now I'm going to come do it on this side. And on this side I'm actually going to have to start down a little bit lower. And what I like to do, you can use something like some people use tape, some people can use a note card. I just kind of wing it, no pun intended, because my bangs come in my face. If I totally screw up, you can't really tell. But what I'm going to do is kind of look at the angle here, so I kind of know that it goes like this, and then kind of just match it over here. And then I'm just going to bring it up from my lash line. Then I'm going to go ahead and, oh, you guys can't even see, sorry. Some people like to do this with a gel liner, and if you do, I highly recommend the INGLOT gel liner. So there that is. This one I can tell is a little bit shorter, so I'm just going to bring it out just a little bit. So there are my wings, and this one is a little bit thinner, so I'm going to go ahead and even that out. I love cat eyes. I think that there's different shapes of cat eyes that work with every single eye shape. And it's really about finding one that works for your eyes. And obviously, as you can tell, I'm not perfect at this. But I think that, you know, you just work at it until it looks the way you want it to look. Okay, so now that they're pretty even, I am going to finish up this part of the eye. The eye is actually not a difficult eye look at all. I am going to take my Rouge Bunny Rouge Brightener. If you wanted to make this really dramatic, you could line with a black line on your upper and lower waterline, but I like more of like a fresh kind of look. So I'm going to take my Eyes Wide Open Eye Brightener and run that along my waterline. Comme ça. Okay, now we're going to go back in with this gorgeous navy shade. And I love the contrast of the black of the liner and the navy because it kind of softens the look just a little bit. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this as a Sephora Smoky Eye brush, but it's just a pointed brush. And then we're going to just run that right underneath the lash line just to give it some definition. Then I'm going to take the highlighter shade, the bright, shiny one. I'm going to take the same shader brush that I was using earlier. We're going to pop that in the inner corners. And then we're also going to use that right down here to just blend into the blue. Sorry, I have my computer on. So there is that. I'm actually going to go in and define just a little bit more on this side. And now I'm going to take another pencil brush. This one is the Sigma E30. And we're going to take the navy and pop that into our crease. Just a little. I like to use pencil brushes with a fine point because I can really just get right into the crease. We don't want to bring it up. We don't want to smoke it out or anything. We just want to add a little bit of definition. And then I'm going to go back through with my blending brush and just blend that out. We're going to come back and do mascara. at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Let me zoom you guys out. Okay, so there are the eyes. As you can tell, I have quite a lot of breakouts everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to start with my primer. Like I said, I've already moisturized. I'm going to use a really natural looking foundation. You can obviously use anything you want. The one that I've recently rediscovered and really loving is the Dior Nude Skin. Looks like this. I'm in the color 010. The idea, especially if you're having a breakout, I actually got this tip from Lisa Eldridge. The best thing to do is to not use a full coverage foundation. The best thing to do is to use kind of a glowy foundation and then go in with concealer and conceal where you need more coverage. So I'm just going to take this. You can also tell I have quite a bit of redness around my nose and in my cheeks. Don't forget to get your ears if they're going to show. I'm going to get our foreheads. I love this foundation. It matches my skin really well. And it just kind of melts into the skin. A little bit more just where I need wider coverage, like on my nose and my cheeks. Blend it out into the hairline. And then, of course, down the neck. So I'm going to go ahead and let that sit while I work on my under eye concealer. The first thing that I'm going to do is use a salmon corrector. The one that I'm using is the Eve Pearl Treat and Conceal Salmon Corrector in the color Light. I'm going to take that with, you need such a little amount of this concealer. I'm going to take just a regular foundation, a regular concealer brush, and just the tiniest bit, and then I'm just going to put this where my circles are, because it is very salmon colored. It's a corrector. So if you put it anywhere where your circles are not, it's going to show up salmony. So then I'm just going to blend that out. We're going to do the other side. My circles come down quite low. Okay, and now I'm going to take kind of a brightening concealer just underneath the eyes. I'm going to use the Collection 2000 Lasting Perfection. My stuff has already started coming off. I got this when I was in London, and I love this concealer. I'm just going to take a couple dots. Then I'm going to take, this is from the Costco Kirkland brush set, but it's a foundation concealer brush. But if you can tell, it's a pointed kind of very dense brush, and it works just like fingers. So I'm just going to take that and start blending out. Just like that. And then on the other side. Then I'm also going to use this same concealer to do any little spot treatment. So what I'm going to do is take a little and just put it on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to take my super fine, this is the Mercier Secret Camouflage and Camouflage Powder Brush, but I love that it's got a little teeny tip, and so I'm just going to take that and do any spots that I've got. What I also love this side of the brush for is it's perfect for blending. You just kind of run it over the spot that you're concealing. So see here, I'm going to do this one, so I'm just going to spot it like this, and then I'm going to take this side and just kind of press it in. I'm also going to take some around the nose. Just like that. Okay, I am not going to set my foundation with powder because I do have very, very dry skin. So, especially right now. So I'm going to let that sit. But I am going to set my under eye concealer with the Mercier Secret, or this is not Secret Brightening, this is the Eye Brightening and Setting Powder in Refresh. And I'm going to take that same, the Secret Camouflage, and I'm going to take the powder side, which is this flat side. Just take a little bit, push it into the concealer. Okay, so there is that. We're going to go ahead and do cheeks. I'm going to be using the Dior Rosy Glow, which is supposedly a pH adapting blush, but it gives a really nice, healthy flush. I'm just going to use my Sigma angled brush. This takes not a lot at all. You just want the teeniest bit because it does get brighter. So I guess it does adapt because the color that it goes on my skin is not the color that it will end up. Then to just kind of blend that out, I'm going to take a domed kabuki brush just like this one and blend that out just to make sure that I don't get any more than I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and do some contouring. Which I usually, you guys know, I don't do that often, but I am loving the, what is this, Strada from MAC. I got this one at my CCO. It's discontinued, but still available at some pro stores and obviously at CCOs. So if you are one of the Strada followers, I would check there. You guys can tell I already have kind of a natural indentation. So I'm not going to take a lot of this, but it just gives more definition. Because I'm so pale, I don't like using bronzer because every bronzer that I've ever tried is too orange. I'm also going to take this up around my temples. And on the sides of my jaw. The brush that I'm using for this is actually my favorite contour brush. It's by LMdB, and I actually think that it's called like their blusher brush number 1, I believe. don't quote me on that. And then I'm going to take, just to blend everything together, I'm going to take a big flat top kabuki. Just so that we don't have any harsh lines. I know that it looks like my contours are really obvious up here, but it's just because the sun is directly on us. Okay, I'm going to zoom back in so you can watch me do lips. I'm going to start with a lip liner, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to start with a lip liner. You can use, I have two here. I have NARS Jungle Red, which is this one, and MAC Cherry. It doesn't matter whichever, I mean, any kind of bright, true red color will work. I'm going to look in the mirror while I do this so that I don't screw up my lips. I like to start by just lightly following the natural lines of my lip, and then I'm going to fill in my lips completely. There's our bottom lip. Whoa, I look scary. I'm gonna go ahead and do top. This happens sometimes. Just take your concealer brush and conceal right over the top of that. Okay, so obviously, as you can tell, my lips aren't perfectly symmetrical either, but nobody's are. So now I'm going to go in with two separate lip brushes for our actual lip color. The first that I'm going to use is actually a Bobbi Brown Ultrafine Eyeliner brush, which sounds silly, but I love this brush for getting right along the lines of the lip. So we are going to take the amazingly gorgeous red lip cream. And a little bit of this goes such a long way. And you want to almost pat it into your lip so it becomes one with the lip liner and has a much longer staying power. I'm going to do this with a little mirror right here. So I'm going to start right along the edges. So there is the bottom lip after I've done the first set of brushes. We're just going to go ahead and do the top. So there's our top lip. Then, if you're a blotter, like if you like to blot your lips and then do it again, this would be the time that you would blot. I'm not going to because I really like the sheen that this lip cream has. I'm going to take a little bit bigger of a brush. This is the concealer brush from Giorgio Armani. This is just a little one. Actually, this is not. This is an eye brush, I think. But anyways, I'm just going to take a little bit more of the lip cream use this to fill in any spots. So there is that. The last thing that I'm going to do is do a little bit of highlighting and then our mascara. So I'm going to take the same highlighter, this guy right here, and I'm going to use the Sigma Duo Fiber. This is the flat one. Just a little teeny bit of this goes a super long way. And then we're just going to take it right on the high planes of the face and then kind of right down under. I also like to bring it up a little bit, just up here. Kind of do a C. Oh, there you go. You can tell in the sun how nice this is. And just bring it up here. I'm also going to take a little teeny bit right above my Cupid's bow, which kind of makes my lips look much fuller. We're going to curl our lashes, put some mascara on, and then we will be done. I'm going to be using a duo of mascaras today. They're both by the Japanese company DJV. I'm going to be using first the Volume Lash and then the Fiberwig LX. These are fiber mascaras, so be careful not to get them too close to your lash line, or else you run the risk of getting fibers in your eyes. I love pairing these two mascaras because this one volumizes so well and then this one lengthens so well. And because they're both fiber mascaras, they both work really well together. Going to take this right. I don't want to put mascara all the way into the insides of my lashes. I just want to put them right out here, just so that we keep that elongated eye shape. So there you have it. I'll zoom out all the way if I can find my remote. Okay, so there you have it. There is our finished look. Very fresh, fun. Yep, I will zoom in one more time on the eyes. And there you have it. Hopefully I will see you guys soon. Bye.